Hey everyone, this is Robert again. This video is going to be going through the reasons why I decided that leasing my Tesla was the best option for me, and hopefully some of the reasons may help you decide if buying the car or leasing the car is the way to go. So we'll get into it. So this is the website. If you're ordering this Tesla, you'll kind of go through the different pricing options. And I think a lot of you that may be watching this may be looking at this because Tesla recently had a price decrease across their lineup. Mainly the Model 3 and the Model Y have gone down in price by a few $1,000s over the last 30 days. And with that price decrease, at least for the Model 3, the lease price has also gone down. So we'll go through that. This used to be about $39,000 and now it's dropped by $2,000 for the standard range plus, which is what I have. And I currently lease this version. I got it 8 months ago and it was $399 per month for the lease. Right now, there's about a 2 week wait. And when you go through the configuration, all the different upgrades that you'll add will add to the lease price. But keep in mind, you're kind of spreading that out for 3 years. So even though you see $1,000 upgrade for black or a $2,000 upgrade, or in this case, $1,500 upgrade for the wheels, you won't actually pay that amount over the lease period. You'll only pay that during the months that you are leasing the car, which Tesla has as 36 months. So even for my vehicle, which I got all the included options, I wanted white. I like the darker rims. It wasn't worth it to pay for the upgrades because I know I'm going to be returning the car after the lease, that I went with the base options because it's a great car. The premium interior, which is a partial premium. The main difference here is just that, to be honest, for me, was that it didn't come with the premium audio. So they actually turn off and don't include a subwoofer in some of the speakers. Kind of annoying. You can't purchase that after the fact. And I like having a good sound system in the car, but that's not included. The main things though for the lease payment, I didn't do self-driving. Again, you would only pay for that during the portion of your lease, not the full $8,000. The main reasons why I wanted to lease was that I know for me, I didn't want to keep the car after the lease period. And I know for others, if you had like having a car for 10 years, you can actually save a lot more money than leasing cars all the time. It's kind of renting versus owning. You can do when you own the car, whatever you want to the car, make modifications, drive it as much as you want. Versus leasing, you are limited. You can't modify the car because you'll void the warranty or you'll have to undo all of those changes before the lease is due. And if you drive more than 15,000 miles per year, it just wouldn't make financial sense to lease because the overages per mile are like 25 cents a mile, and it just really wouldn't make sense. I knew for my situation that I drive less than 15,000 miles a year. I'm paying more than the default price. So right now the lease payment's $371 per month, which is a lot less than $399. This is before tax. You have to pay $4,500 down, which is what I did end of last year, and then I decided to upgrade. They have a 10,000 mile a year, a 12,000, and a 15, and I chose the 15 because I wanted that peace of mind that I wouldn't have to. It's basically for less than 10% more of the cost of the car. So I went from 399, well, not less than 10%, a little bit more than 10%, from 399 to 450 a month. But I have 50% more usage of the car during that time. You're really paying per mile at the end of the day. So for me, that was worth it. All in, I'm at 484.17. That's with tax. Right now, that would be, as you can see, about $28 a month less expensive. You only pay $100 up front. And I know by the end of 2022, when the lease is up, I'm going to get an upgraded car. So the big reason for leasing for me is that I know that A, I don't want to buy the car at the end of the lease. Teslas, you can buy the car at the end of the lease, but you can't actually buy the car at the end of the lease for the Model 3 specifically. Tesla is going to be doing their supposed robo-taxi fleet, where we'll think of Uber, but self-driving cars. It'll be really inexpensive. That'll be an amazing feature if that happens, so that they're using the leases that end when customers return them. That's going to be part of their robo-taxi fleet. The second reason is that Tesla is on a continuous improvement development cycle. That's true for software, but it's more importantly true for hardware in these cars. These cars get much better over time. If we go back to the home screen, if anyone's been following Tesla for some time, this car started with 240 miles range. And then this car was improved over time through software updates to go 250 miles. The first car that came out in 2017 is much different than the car midway through 2017 and by the end of 2017. They don't have model years, like they don't have a 2017 Model 3, 2018 Model 3, 2019 Model 3, as well as the other cars. They actually make improvements every single month and sometimes multiple months in a row. So the car you're buying one month may be totally different, maybe not totally different, but will be different than cars you're buying a few months later as they make improvements, get feedback from customers. And a lot of the early cars have issues and they improve those over time. So for that reason, you can imagine if the car is already getting improved month over month, you can imagine years from now, that's going to be even more different. And I'm not going to want to have this car anymore. I'm going to want the better version of this car, maybe a different model. Right now, I'm only 8 months in and I wish I had the Model Y, for example. I have a Cybertruck reservation and that's coming as well. And there's even talks about a real compact sub $30,000 car, maybe 20 or 25,000 that's coming. So owning this car beyond the 3 years doesn't make sense for me. It's kind of similar like owning a cell phone and getting the latest and greatest, although you do kind of purchase that outright. Most people are trading that in, upgrading their phone every year. To me, I look at this car and I see opportunities for improvement and I would like all the advanced features. And honestly, the other reason, a couple more reasons is A, it's always going to be under warranty. So I'm a believer of that with cars that when you're leasing them, the car's always under warranty for the entire lease period. If anything is wrong, the manufacturer will fix it. The same thing is true for Tesla. If I own this car beyond the warranty period, it's unknown the amount of cost or the battery that may or may not need to be replaced. This car requires very little maintenance, but to me, it's not yet proven. The car has only been around for a few years. 5 years from now, 2 years from now, I have no idea what's going to happen with the car. And as these cars get better, the value of them decrease. These cars have retained their value for some time because there hasn't been a better car that has come out, but there will be over time. And you can even see Model S's right now for under $30,000 online because the demand for them has absolutely plummeted since the technology, the range, the quality has gotten so much better over time. The other item is also paying for the tax. So when you own a car, you pay for the tax upfront, or if you're financing it, you pay it over time. With leases, you are basically paying the depreciation on the vehicle for the length of time that you own it. And I'm not paying the back end of that tax upfront. I'm just paying for the tax for the duration that I do own it. So for those reasons I drive under 15,000 miles per year, I want a new car every few years. And the fact that these cars are getting better all the time, and I know that I'm going to be wanting to try the latest and greatest technology because I know they're going to be making improvements. As an example, I actually was thinking about trading in a car to get the Model Y, ending this lease early, and even the sales guy said that the Model Ys made in Q3 2020 are different than the Model Ys in Q2 2020 because they were getting feedback from the early models, implemented those changes and the manufacturing, and now the new cars coming out are a lot better quality than the ones that were coming out before with some of the issues that have been resolved. This monthly payment for me is worth it for this car and not being committed to it long term, but I'm able to enjoy it for that period of time. And I have no desire to modify the vehicle, which would risk warranty and things of that nature outside of tint, which is absolutely mandatory in Arizona. So for me, adding tint to the lease was worth it. So I hope this was helpful if you are thinking about leasing a Model 3. It can be a very good option. It just depends on your personal situation to see if leasing makes sense. But if this was helpful, feel free and give me a comment down below. If you'd like to have any questions asked, I'll be more than happy to do so. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks.